Chapter 1: The UK's delicate diplomatic dance with China and the US. In a diplomatic balancing act, the UK government has signaled its departure from the Biden administration's protectionist stance toward China. City Minister Bim Afalami emphasized the importance of engaging with strategic competitors like Beijing, warning that the UK risks ceding control over its economic future if it fails to establish common ground. Afalami's comments, delivered at the City Week conference in London's Guildhall, underscored the UK's desire to maintain an open dialogue with China. He acknowledged the divergent perspectives between the two countries but stressed the futility of shunning an economy that houses prominent global financial institutions and facilitates a significant portion of the world's financial transactions. "We are very clear," Afalami stated, "that you simply cannot give the cold shoulder to an economy that is home to a fifth of the world's globally systemic important banks, four of the world's largest banks, and almost a third of the world's leading global financial centers." Chapter 2: Shared Challenges, Mutual Benefits. Afalami emphasized the potential benefits of maintaining open channels of communication with Beijing, particularly in addressing shared global challenges such as climate change, biodiversity loss, and aging populations. By working together, the UK and China can leverage their collective capabilities to tackle these pressing issues. "Where China is concerned," Afalami said, "we are taking the long view." However, the city minister was quick to add that engagement with China must align with the UK's best interests. "We should only engage, of course, where it's consistent with our interests," he clarified. "But be in no doubt that is absolutely not the same thing as disengagement." Chapter 3: UK's Diplomatic Divergence from US Policies. Afalami's remarks distanced the UK from the recent protectionist measures implemented by US President Joe Biden, who imposed stringent tariffs on $18 billion worth of Chinese goods. The US move, aimed at shielding American manufacturers from cheaper Chinese imports, has raised concerns about escalating trade tensions between the world's two largest economies. In contrast, the UK government continues to pursue diplomatic and economic ties with Beijing. This approach is exemplified by recent courting efforts toward Chinese firms such as Shein, the fast fashion company preparing for a potential London listing despite dwindling interest in the UK stock market. Chapter 4: Concerns over Chinese involvement in the UK. Despite the government's desire to engage with China, lingering concerns persist about Chinese interventions in the UK. Recent revelations of Chinese hackers accessing the payroll records of nearly all members of Britain's armed forces have raised national security concerns. The Labour Party has pledged to conduct a comprehensive audit of UK-China relations if elected in the next election, highlighting the potential for increased scrutiny of Chinese involvement in the country. Chapter 5: UK's Competitive Position on the International Stage. The UK's international competitiveness was also a topic of discussion at the City Week conference. London Stock Exchange CEO Julia Hoggett advocated for higher executive pay, praising company boards for offering larger payouts to bosses despite shareholder disapproval. Hoggett urged remuneration committees to embrace bolder approaches to executive compensation, citing the need for companies to attract and retain top talent. However, her comments drew mixed reactions, with some shareholders expressing concerns over excessive executive pay increases. Chapter 6: UK's Balancing Act Amidst Global Power Dynamics. The UK faces a delicate balancing act in navigating its relationships with China and the US. While recognizing the benefits of engagement with China, the government is also mindful of the potential risks and concerns. The diplomatic dance between these three nations will likely continue to shape the UK's economic and security policies in the years to come.